Let me start by saying that I love this movie, but I hate that I'm having to make this video. Now, you may be saying to yourself, that sounds contradictory. Why is he not wanting to make a review of a movie that he liked? And to that, my friend, I have to confess, this might be the best Scream movie ever made. I feel like this is going to turn out to be a hot take, because everyone, including myself, believed the original Scream couldn't be topped. But here we are. Now, as of writing the script, the movie just came out, and so far audiences are really loving the movie. It has an audience score of 95% on Rotten Tomatoes. Even though it isn't a reliable source, an overwhelming majority liking this movie is something that's hard to fake and interesting to take into consideration. So, what works for this movie? Well, almost everything. I haven't been scared of Ghostface since I was a little kid, but let me tell you, it made me speedwalk to my car after watching the movie. See, I think the reason Ghostface is scariest here is because the character just doesn't care. This Ghostface isn't scared to jump you in New York and attack you out in public. Ghostface is pulling no punches and putting all of their cards on the table for this one. This is most evident right off the bat when Ghostface says at the beginning of the movie, "I don't give a fuck about any of this. I am going to kill the main characters and anyone who tries to stop me." Side note, this has been the best opening to any Scream movie in the franchise. It may not be as iconic as the first, but it is certainly the best and really sets the tone for this movie. This movie is significantly more gory than any of the other films in the franchise. The kills in Scream franchise have been mostly described as unsettling. Scream 4 could get pretty mean with its kills, but Scream 6 is straight up vicious to these characters. If a character dies in this movie, they are eviscerated. Ghostface is gutting you, blowing your brains out, or you're getting your face caved in. There is no in between. Even if you aren't killed by Ghostface, your wounds consist of stomach slashes, getting sliced upwards, and even being a pincushion for knives. Almost every character in this movie loses what feels like a gallon of blood. Now, most of you know that I'm not that big a fan of Scream 2 because it doesn't justify being a movie. The rewrites and reshoots made this movie less entertaining than it originally was going to be, all because they didn't want you to know the ending. They chose shock and surprise over making a better film. However, Scream 6 works as the perfect sequel to Scream 5. The motivations for Ghostface in this film fit both thematically for the series and realistically for Ghostface. As twisted as it may be, Ghostface does have solid motivations. The big reveal at the end of this movie really hits the mark. The more I look back, the happier I am with it, which isn't always the case with these films. Screams 5 and 6 are very connected with each other, expanding further on the relationships present in the fifth film, and especially the characters as individuals. In an interview with Dead Meat, the directors mentioned that when writing and directing Scream 6, it was easier because they've really gotten into the swing of it with these characters. They fleshed out the characters from Scream 5 in believable ways, using personality traits from the actors themselves to enhance the overall performance and scenes between specific actors. Sam feels more like a nurturing and protective character in this movie. Tara gets to be more independent and outspoken. Mindy gets to be goofier and a little more romantic. Chad gets to be dorkier and even stronger than before. See, a massive issue I've had with the whole Scream franchise is the main friend group never really feel like they're friends. Usually it's because most of these characters are blood bags who are just brought in to expand the body count, most of which are red herrings. In this movie, you really feel like these guys are a family. When Chad calls the group the Core 4, you actually feel that. Scream 5 had a problem where it felt like nobody really liked each other. Amber was just generally bitchy to everybody in the group. Mindy and Liv hated each other. Chad felt like a stereotype. And nobody seemed to care about Wes despite Act 3 being a party held in his honor. And Tara, who is supposed to be at the center of their friend group, doesn't even feel like she really belonged. This movie does a really good job at correcting that, and even the new characters fit in better here than they usually do. This movie is not perfect though. I think Gail is the worst she's ever been here, and that's really disappointing to see. There isn't really even an explanation as to why she does a heel turn, they just kind of drop it. It also contradicts the Gail we saw in Scream 5, but it doesn't ruin the character for me. Courtney Cox continues to crush the role and gets an incredible line in her fight with Ghostface. Kirby is back and she's true to her character, but it feels like she's a little too fan service for me. Don't get me wrong, I liked Kirby, but her role in the story feels a little awkward. Like, if you were to ask me where she'd be after the events of Scream 4, I think she'd have the same motivations and maybe even the same profession, but there was just something off about it. I'll need to take some more time and maybe watch it again to get the rest of my thoughts for this. Those points aside, this is Scream at its best, and it has a lot to offer. If you love any Scream movie, you will love this movie. This movie is the foundation that sequels should strive to be. So for that, Scream 6 gets a solid 10 out of 10. Now, I think it's time to end the video. I was originally going to delve into spoilers, but I want to talk about this movie more in the future, and the purpose of this video is to excite you to watch the movie, which spoilers achieve the exact opposite. If you'd like to talk about the movie with me, you can tweet to me at FatsuBatsu on Twitter, or you can simply leave a comment down below. Please start your comment off with a spoiler alert though. I wouldn't want people to get spoiled unless they wanted to be spoiled. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this review. It really does help a small YouTuber like myself get seen by a wider audience. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care.